Guys, we are halfway through the entire year of 2021, and that means it's time for me to dive in and rank all 10 of my favorite films so far for 2021. I've seen over 101 movies, and so far this has been a pretty damn good year, and this was a pretty hard list to make, because while I'm only talking about 10 movies today, there are 10 other films that I do want to give honorable mentions to in just a little bit. But make sure, guys, if you are here, make sure to comment down below. Let me know your guys' thoughts. What is your ranking? Again, this is my ranking. Everyone's thoughts are going to be a little bit different, so if you don't like one of my movies, that's fine. I'm sure there's a movie on your list that I might not agree with, and that's all cool. So also make sure to hit that like and subscribe button before you head on out, because I do talk movies all the time over here on a daily basis, and if you love talking movies, then this is seriously the channel for you guys. So without further ado, let's dive into this top 10 ranking of 2021 movies so far for this year. At my number 10, it is Raya and the Last Dragon. Now, you're going to see quite a few animated films on this list, and this is one of the best years for animated movies so far. Raya and the Last Dragon might feel like Avatar: The Last Airbender. It's kind of why I picked this one to wear today. But for me, the sister tale in here, the father-daughter dynamic, and then seeing how it's really much up to her in this post-apocalyptic universe. It's literally Avatar: The Last Airbender meets Mad Max Fury Road, and it's awesome. Dragons, creatures, monsters, everything of that nature, but also the fighting scenes in here are some of the best I've ever seen in an animated format. I love Raya and the Last Dragon. It's one that I've gone back to rewatch quite a few times since buying it on Blu-ray. And it's one that I'm sure many of you guys also have done the same with. It seems like a lot of people love this movie, and I hope to God we get more Raya, because this is the world that I think everyone needs to experience and will love. And at my number 9, it is Luca, the brand new Pixar movie, one that is more very simple in its approach, small in its scale, and probably very different when it comes down to a Pixar film telling a story like this. We've seen movies kind of go in this dynamic with them, but they always end up going bigger or bolder. And Luca, never goes to Atlantis or anything of that nature, but what it does, it just tells two boys and tells the messages of acceptance and discovery. It's such a fascinating coming-of-age story, that one that I've gone back to rewatch multiple times, and now I can't stop saying Silencio Bruno, and I'm sure many of you guys are doing the exact same thing. I love Luca so much. I love the animation. I know this film was not for everyone, but seriously, if you love this film and you've never watched a Studio Ghibli movie, please go give it a watch, because this movie feels and looks like heavily inspired from a lot of those, especially My Neighbor Totoro. And at my number 8, it's The Mitchells versus the Machines, a movie that I was not excited about. It looked fun, but I wasn't one that I was like, I need to see this first day. Then I saw some of the trailers, actually paid attention to them, saw that it was created by the same people who made Spider-Verse, saw Phil and Chris Lord were all involved with this, and then I went and watched the movie, and I died laughing. Oh my god, it's one of the funniest films I've seen this year, as well as one of the most heartfelt films. The father-daughter dynamic in here, God, guts me every single time. And I think this is a great film for kids and adults to watch, because adults will get the laughs, have the jokes, and the kids will do the same, but the message here about parents really much believing in their kids, so kids seeing maybe they kind of understand where their parents are coming from. There's so many different dynamics and so much well-written overall dialogue in here, but in general, the fact that you're just, it's a family road trip, but then robots take over and you have to fight them. There's so much wildness that happens in this movie, but it all works tonally and story-wise, and I think this is one of the best films of the year. I love this movie. It's one of the ones that I've countlessly rewatched. And at my number 7, it's Demon Slayer Mugen Train. So for me, I love this movie. The more that I've seen it, the more that I love it. All my issues kind of going aside, especially on rewatches. I've seen this film about 4 times, and it's one that once it comes out on Blu-ray, same damn thing. It is so entertaining, and I think one of the best things about this movie is the fact that I took my girlfriend to see this film. She had never watched Demon Slayer before, and she walked out loving it, wanting to watch the show. For me, I binged the show right beforehand because I've been wanting to watch it, and I wanted to see the movie, and I walked out and I was like, I love this movie, and I think it's the best thing yet that they've done. While I love the show overall, the movie was better than anything in the show. And I truly mean that, because whether you're talking an emotional ride, there's some emotional stuff in there that will probably bring you to tears, and even all the action and animation here, while the animation's always stunning, it's top tier here. I also love the stuff that it really delves into with grief. We grief over people and mourn who have lost in our lives, and especially Tanjiro, the main character in here, there's a lot that he's having to go through throughout this entire world, and especially in this movie, they play up to that on a high scale. I love this, and of course, Rengoku, you are the god, man. man. Holy shit, that last action scene was so amazing. And at my number 6, it is Saint Maud. Now, I know some of you guys got to see it last year. For everyone in the United States, we did not get to see it till this year. Did not come out here until here. So now I finally got to see it. For me, this is a 2021 movie, and I love it. This is a movie that I think is slowly paced and very much psychologically tense, and a lot of the ways that they frame each of the production design ones. And it's actually one that has haunted me, because I was watching it, I was like, this isn't too scary, but I'm loving the performances. I'm loving how haunting and psychological it is. Once it races into that third act, I was literally on the edge going, holy fucking shit, this is a scary ass movie, and it scared the shit out of me, honestly. The last 20 minutes, I think there's so much up to interpretation that you can really discuss and analyze, and I love those type of movies, and I love A24 for that. This is one of the ones that I had like high expectations for, and it not just met them, it exceeded them and became one of my favorite films of 2021. And at my number 5 is a film that every one of you guys need to see, especially if you enjoyed Uncut Gems, and even if you didn't, you might like this one a little bit more since it's more on the indie side, on the smaller scale. Imagine you're someone who, I don't know, maybe has a sugar daddy who's paying for a lot of bills and doing all sorts of things like that, and maybe you're not the best, but someone dies in your family and you gotta go back for a funeral, and it's kind of a family reunion, and then your sugar daddy shows up with his wife and kid. That's just the start of it all. Shiva Baby nails that concept so damn well, and making it one of the most horrifying and also most tense films I saw in this year so far. I bought the Blu-ray, loved this movie. It's very short, it's very sweet, it's very comical, but again, like I said, it is horrifying and tense. This direction in here is superb, but also the performances in here are all-star stuff. Of course, before we get to my top 4, guys, make sure to get in a comment down below your ranking as well. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button so we can keep talking movies over here on a daily basis. I'm just a giant geek, and if you're here, you're probably a geek like me, so let's keep talking all sorts of fun stuff down below.
And of course, for all my honorable mentions, located also on Letterboxd, you can see right here, Coda, Army of the Dead, Cruella, Inside, Malcolm and Marie, Judas and the Black Messiah, One for the Road, Plan B, and Black Widow. So many great films that you all need to watch.
My number 4 might be the film that I'm going to be championing all the way up to the next Oscar race, and that is Mass. Imagine two parents who both their kids, one was the school shooter, one died in the school shooting, and now these parents are coming together to actually have a conversation. This film, the tight-knit conversation that these 4 actors have, is some of the most tense stuff that I've felt, and I very much was floored for what the 2-hour runtime in here. The direction in here was also amazing, and the guy who actually directed this, if you've seen Cabin in the Woods, he's the hippie from there. I'm like, what? He directed this? Stunning stuff in there, amazing script as well, but truly enough, the performances in here are really much all-star stuff, and that's the stuff that every person in here should be nominated for an Oscar. Every single actor and actress. I love this movie. I don't want to give away too much, but this is one that you really need to put on your radar. And at my number 3 is the real version of Justice League, the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League. I was so excited to see this. I never thought we would see it in a million years. Maybe in like 10-20 years with like less CGI, just kind of storyboarded stuff put together, kind of like the Donner cut. But no, we actually got a full-fledged version of it. And while it's still missing some stuff as Zack Snyder's talked about, this is the best version that we're going to get of it. And I think it might be the best DCU film yet. I still think Man of Steel is, but this film comes pretty damn close. I've always loved Zack Snyder's vision, and I think even for this 4-hour cut, it doesn't feel like 4 hours. Maybe felt like 2.5. If anything, I sat there in one sitting watching it, and I've watched this film probably 4 or 5 times since. The black and white version's amazing. The normal version's amazing. All the action is so tight-knit and brought together. The character development with every single person was magical. And I think it really much goes as far to say, Warner Brothers told Zack Snyder to put all these heroes in it, do a Justice League film, and he did it. And look what he did. When you actually give him all the time, and you make every character actually be able to develop, and you actually care about them all, that's what's so important about this. Plus, in here, the heart of this entire movie is Cyborg. Ray Fisher's Cyborg is, I've never really loved the Cyborg character. I love him now in this. And when you talk about the soul of the film, that is Henry Cavill's black suit Superman, or just in general, Superman. They both come together in such a dynamic way, and I love what they were able to do with this. Zack Snyder nailed it, and this becomes one of my favorite films of 2021. And at my number 2 is the quietest film on this list, but also one of the best, and that is A Quiet Place 2. I love this movie. I cannot wait till it comes out on Blu-ray so I can consistently watch this, show my family it, and I love the original. I think this one's even better. I think when it comes down to character development and all the characters mixed around here, I think it opens up those doors into such a high light, as well as Millicent Simmons' performance in here, which is hands down one of my favorites. And of course, Cillian Murphy, who really much is one of the most underrated actors working today, nails his role in here as well. This is a movie that is not just shocking, it's intense. Within the first 5-10 minutes, the opening prologue is incredible. But then once it picks up from where the first film ended, and now you go from there, I sat there just going, holy shit. And there's one moment in the early moments where I was like, oh my God. And it just continues from there. It's quiet, it's simple, but it's executed perfectly and opens this new world up for new possibilities. I really hope we get a third one. Not just a spinoff, which I'm excited for with Jeff Nichols, a third one from John Krasinski. And at my number one, of course, it is In the Heights. I am not a musical guy. Like, not at all. Musicals are like the films that I like. I mean, I can get excited for them, but I really need a lot more. Dude, this movie's freaking awesome. I've seen this film 6-7 times now, and I just will continue to watch it. I listen to the music constantly. I sit there and jam out to it. I love the performances in here, and just for me, I think the whole entire cast, especially Anthony Ramos, the girl who plays Vanessa, Corey Hawkins, and oh man, why can't I remember the girls' names? Because they're some of the best acts by substance, but also Nina. They all deserve anything coming their way now. They are all stars in this, and it still baffles me that Corey Hawkins is not like a leading man in everything. He was amazing in Straight Outta Compton, and then like really went nowhere, doing small things here and there, and then comes back out in the Heights and almost steals the entire show. I love this film, and the music is so well written. The story, it's really much the summer celebration that I think everyone needs to check out. And I think for me, the fact that it didn't do so great at the box office does break my heart, but I do hope in the future many people do start to explore this film more, because it's one of the best of 2021 so far. My ranking so far for favorite films of 2021. Again, we're only halfway through the year, so this ranking could very much change by the end, because there's still a ton of movies coming out. Some of my most anticipated, like Dune, Eternals, Spider-Man No Way Home, No Time to Die, The Green Knight, and so many more. And I can't wait to hear your guys' thoughts on them. So again, hit that like and subscribe button, comment down below, and of course, until next time, stay classy.